I get this question like every day, so I'm finally gonna talk about it. Dating a trans girl definitely does not make you gay. Having the idea or thought of a guy dating a trans girl makes him gay is just simply transphobic, because basically you're saying that the trans girl is a man.
I'm so confused. Before we even get into the real problem with this video, I don't understand why people say that you have a phobia of something just because you don't necessarily agree with it. People can disagree. They disagree all the time on issues not related to whatever it is that's going on with the alphabet community. And it doesn't mean that they're scared. I have no phobia of it. I'm not scared. It's not worried that you're going to do something to me. But what I am is concerned that we're now indoctrinating and reducing large issues that then affect people outside of ourselves, which include our children, to think that this is normal. And we're not going to normalize. I'm not going to normalize this inside of my household. I'm not going to normalize this within my community. I'm never going to subject myself to something that is not real, is not true. You're not going to play make-believe. You're not going to dress up and then tell me that something is what it isn't. You're not going to piss on me and then tell me that it's raining outside. I'm not going for it. And just because people don't necessarily agree with your lifestyle or how it is that you view things, which is one of the benefits of living in this country, is because we do have the freedom of speech, especially when it concerns the fact that you're not hurting anybody. You're never going to convince me that somebody is scared of something just because they don't agree with where it is that you stand. But let's continue.
There are guys called tea chasers. Now, that's a whole other video, but fruity. Here's another example. If you see a cis man and a trans man dating, are you going to say that they're straight?
I know that times are nearing the end. I do. I know that we all playing God out here and we transforming everything that we see into being what it is that we think it should be. But at this point, at this moment, when this video started, I knew immediately that this was a biological male. Now, the issue, I think, though, is that when you see a lot of people just walking down the street or whatever, so on and so forth, it's getting scary out here for a lot of dudes, because I've always believed that I got the eye to be able to immediately identify whether or not a dude is a biological male or whatever like that, right? But now it's getting so insane and so crazy with some of this stuff that I've seen online, to where now I have to question whether or not it's so bad. Think about it like this. It's so bad now that we're actually questioning whether women that are really biological women were biological men or were trans men. That's how wild it is that the technology and the surgeries and all of this stuff is getting so advanced to where we now seeing people that were biologically men, and it's forcing us to question whether or not certain women were biologically men. You understand what I'm saying? Or am I completely twisted around? I think that I wouldn't want to be in this dating market. People are finessing people. They're not telling them the truth immediately. When they meet them, you almost going to have some kind of digital certificate or birth certificate or something like that on hand just to show what you really were at birth. People are changing their name. They completely having they entirely different people. And then we as a society is validating it because we don't want to be disagreeable. When did that start taking place?
You're seeing two big men dating, and you're trying to say that they're straight. Huh? Doesn't make sense, does it? And then there's also the whole genitalia part of it. People are like, oh, but what if you have this genitalia or that genitalia? It's none of your business, and it's none of your concern unless you're dating the person. When you're in a relationship, you're dating the person for who they are and not for their genitalia. If you're dating someone for their genitalia, you're really just looking for a hook.
What? Okay. I've always thought that it's only two reasons why you would date somebody. A, you would date them, and dating is much different than just hanging out with a group of people and everybody just having a good time, or they having a discussion, or you having a debate or something like that. Dating means that A, either you're trying to get to know them to the point to where you really want to court them for a relationship or marriage, or B, you're actually dating them because you're trying to take them home eventually, or take them home for the night, and eventually y'all gonna have some form of a sexual relationship. dating somebody based off of just who they are without taking into account every single factor of who they are and whether or not you are a biological male at birth matters. What are you talking about? So you would embarrass that dude. So let's just say it's a dude that's completely oblivious, or your surgery or whatever, and you've taken hormones to where your voice is not as deep and all of this other type of stuff, right? And that you can't inherently just by default tell whether or not a person is a biological male or not, right? And you think that it makes sense, or that is valid, that that person should not be informed before y'all ever even have a conversation. But that person should not be informed that you are a biological male. Yo, we want to know everybody's background before we even meet them. We want to know whether or not somebody did something, and if they on an offenders list before we even move into a specific neighborhood. So you saying that a person that is walking out in public, that is then having a conversation and dating them for one of those two reasons, should not be informed as to whether or not you were originally something that you're not portraying yourself to be now. And y'all think that this makes sense. And we're validating it with bad logic from people who don't even seem as though they're old enough to have their brain fully developed, right? Because we know that your brain is not even really fully developed until you're 24, 25 years old for most people. And so we taking advice from people in order to validate their feelings and not having a real uncomfortable conversation about what it is that we're normalizing out here in society. And you think it's cool. Listen, if you're the type of person that want to date those type of people, that's on you. I don't tell nobody what to do in their bedroom. I don't tell nobody what to do in their personal life. But when you start pressing it against me as far as what you normalizing and what it is that I should expect from society and what's being taught in the schools and what's being validated on these college campuses that's now becoming indoctrination camps, and what it is that my eyes see. I was given five senses for a reason. I see you. I hear you. I'm never going to touch you, right? Because that's just not, that's not in the cards. But the fact of the matter is this. I'm not going to tell my senses and my eyes to not be situationally aware of what it is that I see and then force myself to see something differently based off of how you feel. You think that makes sense? Honestly, are y'all seriously trying to validate this? Somebody is validating it somewhere, because we keep having these conversations and people keep sending me these videos and these things keep popping up, and y'all obviously are defending them because I've seen people defend them on panels and everything. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure that y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, get that Teach Henley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Let me know what y'all think about this. Am I completely oblivious and off my rocker in that I'm not validating this? And you can't sell me on the idea that you're dating somebody based off of their sentiment and what's in the inside and not what it is that's hanging on the outside? Or if the world is basically coming to an end because everybody is just validating this mindset and nobody is actually using a good God-given common sense in order to make an informed decision. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.